Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric, and I thought today we would talk about pressure washers. Now, the first thing we need to say about pressure washers is they come in all shapes and sizes, right? Some are electric where you can just plug them in, whereas others are gas powered, and if you really get into the bigger units, they're diesel powered. And the biggest thing I get questions on when it comes to a pressure washer is which pressure washer is the best to get. The thing you want to be aware of is this here has a maximum of 2,500 psi, pounds per square inch, and at that psi we're getting 2.3 gallons per minute of water going through it. Now when it comes to washing your car, I wouldn't recommend anything over 1,500. Actually, a little lighter would be better. You get up and you start pressure washing a car with this, you might end up, taking paint, denting, other things that you have to be real careful with them. And then if you're going to do like concrete or do your driveway, they recommend 3 to 5,000 psi, which would be a bigger unit than this. The big thing when they talk about gallons per minute, that the more gallons per minute you have, the more area surface you can clean, the faster you can clean it, right? So, and here's another one that a lot of people ask me about is vinyl siding. What pressure setting should I have to do vinyl siding? And I would recommend 25 minimum, but 3,000 would be better. And then the other thing that most people don't take into consideration with their pressure washers is that they come with different colored nozzles. And what is the color code on these nozzles for? Well, red it's basically a direct, small, tight group when it starts spraying. And what do they run at? They're running at 2.0 gallons per minute, and it's a 10 degree, which is just about as small as you can get. And then we can go to the yellow. The yellow is saying that it's 15 degrees, 2,300 psi at 2.2 gallons per minute with this one. So you're going from a tight pattern to now you're getting a 15% spray, so it's just opening it up. And then we go to white, which is 40. Now it drops down to 1950 for pounds per square inch psi with 2.3 gallons per minute. And with that, it's a 40, so now you're really spraying it out. It's almost half of a 90 that you're getting a spray volume, okay? The one that most of them don't come in, like the greens, if you have a green in there, now you're down to a 25 degree spray, so that would be between the white, which is a 40, and a yellow, which is a 15. So this is 25. And you're probably looking at right around 2,200 psi with about 2.3 gallons per minute with this unit. So you can change the nozzles to get different coverage. And then the black, what does the black do? The black is basically just a soaker. So if you want to put it in, what do they say? It's a 25 degree and it has no pressure to speak of behind it. If you have the soap dispenser, which this one does have, a lot of times what I recommend is to use the black one hooked up to your detergent and then spray that onto whatever you're trying to clean and let it set, and then swap out the nozzle for the one that you're trying to get the best coverage on. If you're trying to do a small area, now you're down to this one. This one will take paint right off the car. But if you're just trying to rinse it, then you probably go with the green or the white when it comes to rinsing it. And how do they attach? Well, they attach like this. They had just a simple piece where you could take and just push that down, pop that in, and then off you go. You get done with that one, you can just pop it out. Yep. And if you wanted to use the soaker, what I call the soaker, pop it in and you're ready to go again. So when it comes to cleaning your siding, or if you're working on like degreasing something that you're trying to pressure wash, start off with your black, with your detergent, with a hose in the detergent bottle, and it'll siphon itself right into the system, so you can soak everything all up. Okay, now the different kinds of pressure washers. Alright, I don't have the other ones here to show you, but the other ones are simply like the electric ones. I think Claude's got an electric and his is like 1,000 or 1,200 psi with 1 point some gallons per minute. That's great for the homeowner. You know, this one here would be a good all-around homeowner one as well with the 2,500. But again, if you're going to do like concrete, your driveway, trying to clean your porch down, you know, where it stains over the years and stuff, bigger is better. Alright, you probably should step up to something that has more than 2,500 psi. I would say for concrete and driveways, 3,000 minimum, but you can go up to 5,000 for those. Porches, 3 to 3,500 psi to clean off your decks and stuff that are wooden decks, pressure treated decks. And when you're doing your vinyl siding and stuff, when you're cleaning, this is more than enough. The key is, the closer you get, the more pressure you're going to have, right? So if you're right here from this distance, it's going to have a lot of pressure, whereas the farther you go out, the less pressure it's going to have. Does that make sense? So when researching on what pressure washer to buy, you first need to sit down and decide, what do I want to use? Do I want a good all-around that can use pretty much anything, like one of these, the 2,500s? Or am I buying it just to do siding? Might want to get a little bit bigger. If you're trying to do concrete, patio floors, I mean, you can do all that with these, all right? I'm not saying you can't. It's just going to take you longer, okay? Because the higher the PSI, the higher the gallons per minute, the more volume and the bigger area you can clean faster, if that makes any sense. I mean, the best way to do it is just multiply this by this, and that'll give you a number to rate. The higher the number, the better it is. So on that note, okay, let me just add one more thing. The Steam Jennies, they're a pressure washer, but they have hot water, where it depends on the unit, but most of them are run on diesel or kerosene in a burner, and their system is set up to handle really hot water. I know up to the mines when we were working on bringing our equipment in to wash it off at the end of the day, whether it be a loader, you know, drill, what have you, we had the Steam Jennies, and it was a big unit, and you had to be super careful with that, because I remember one guy actually cut. He had rubber boots on, but they had steel toes. Most of us wore rubber boots underground, and that cut right through that boot, and had he not had that steel toe, he probably would have lost his toes. So you got to be really careful with that stuff. But those are made to really specialize, to degrease and get everything cleaned right up. Perfect. So on that note, I'm going to leave you with, you know, the different colors that they have, and the different colors they have. Red is going to be the hottest, is one way of looking at it. Yellow, not as hot. White is a little less, and then black is just simply a detergent, just wet in the area. Alright guys, I hope you learned something, and we'll catch you on the next video.